Okay, the next thing I'd like to talk about is something that plays a very big role in my playing as well as the music of Dream Theater, and that's odd time signatures, or even just odd approaches to common time signatures. The thing with odd time signatures is, and to me this is the same concept that I use in all of drumming and rhythm in general, is it all comes down to numbers and counting and arithmetic and stuff like that. And that's always the approach I've had with coming up with my drum parts. You know, I try to always look at the numbers and try to think of different ways to combine different numbers to reach, you know, to reach an end or whatever. The first thing I'd like to talk about is odd time signatures. And to me, I've always had the approach where I don't see why it's any easier to play 4 beats per measure than it is to play 5 beats or 7 beats. It's all a matter of counting and doing the arithmetic. And that's an approach I've always had when I'm coming up with my parts, and I'd like to share some of these theories with you. Playing 4 is obviously, you have 4 beats per measure, but you could break that down to 8/8 notes per measure, or even 16/16 notes if you really want to get, you know, particular. So when you're playing a bar of 4, you're counting 1, 2, 3, 4. So obviously, if you're going to play a bar of 5/4, it's the same thing as 4/4, except you're adding an extra quarter note. So you would count it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the same goes for 7 or 9 or any, it's all combinations of numbers. And in fact, they all break down to 2s and 3s. So everything could be broken down into those common denominators. So first, let's look at 5/4. Like I said, it's basically, there's a couple ways you could look at it, but one would be playing it the same as a bar of 4 and adding an extra quarter note. So I'm going to play a bar of 4 and then play a bar of 5. And you can hear how it's just one extra quarter note. Here's the bar of 4. That was easy, right? So now you just add an extra quarter note, and you'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, there's a couple of different ways of looking at it. You could also look at a bar of 5 as a 2 and a 3, or a 3 and a 2, or any combinations like that. Now, 7/4 is the same theory, but there's a couple of different ways to play it. You could play it as a bar of 4 and a bar of 3. You know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, or you could do 3 and 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's all numbers. So I'll play a bar of 7/4 so you can feel what a basic bar of 7/4 feels like. If you count that, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, bump. Now, one thing, it starts to get a little trickier. I mean, that's all pretty easy, but it starts to get a little trickier when you start dealing with 1/8 notes. Bars of 7/8, 5/8, 9/8. And what you're basically doing is subdividing the beats into twice the value, 1/8 notes, and you're counting them twice as fast.